Welcome back. You are watching the latest news from Kazakhstan. I'm Marina Kim, and here are the top stories. The hunger strike of construction interest holders in Astana continues for the fourth day. The OSCE foreign ministers approved the idea to hold the official summit in Astana until the end of the year. The best traditions of social realism, the peculiarities of social advertising in Kazakhstan. The hunger strike of real estate interest holders continues in Astana for the fourth day. 2 protesters were hospitalized on Monday, while 13 more still continue with the strike. The people are supported morally by some 100 residents of the city.
The decision on holding a hunger strike was made back on July 6, the anniversary of Astana and Nursultan Nazarbayev. During the Monday's press conference, protesters voiced their demands, the main of which is the abolition of the government's April resolution, which imposed premise ownership limits. It was also announced that the interest holders' actions will not be limited to hunger striking only, but will also involve rallying in front of the local administration buildings to draw the public attention to their problems. The decent housing movement leader Zauriya Batalova has stated on Monday that protesters will join mass rallies planned to coincide with the OSCE summit in Astana. Kazakh authorities possess the ability to traditionally ignore the local problems and continue working on its global image. It's rather important for Kazakhstan to host all kinds of official events, and now this OSCE summit seems the priority, all the while the people are starving and have no housing. The authorities seem not to care about it at all.
The OSCE informal summit has completed its work on Saturday in Almaty, and the main political dividend was received. The foreign affairs ministers of all countries present at the meeting approved the idea to hold the OSCE official summit in Astana before the end of the year. Surprisingly, Kazakhstan secured the support of Washington despite breaking its promise to free human rights activist Evgeny Zhovtis.
The dream of Kazakh authorities to complete the OSCE chairmanship is the first since 1999 summit of all 56 of the organization's heads of states will come true after all. The decision was made during an informal meeting. President Nazarbayev has personally welcomed the informal summit participants. During his address, the leader of the nation outlined the advantages of holding the summit in Astana and emphasized Kazakhstan's contributions to the OSCE. This includes spending $50 million for education of Afghan students and $10 million on Kyrgyzstan, all in the context of the transcontinental security. The Lithuanian Foreign Affairs Minister called the idea a utopia, although everyone else successfully avoided the topic. In the end, Nazarbayev noted that Kazakhstan has voluntarily abandoned nuclear weapon programs and hinted that the state has the highest authority in the Central Asian region. My colleagues, leaders of Central Asian states, have naturally supported me as I led talks with them on this topic individually. A number of key issues were addressed during the day. However, the hosting party did not know whether or not the heavyweights of the OSCE will approve its main endeavor until the evening. No one is going to oppose the organization of such summit. The question is whether it will be held this year and whether it will be in Kazakhstan. In the meantime, the Minsk group on solving the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict held its working session behind the closed doors. As a result of the meeting, the organizers issued a communiqué on the reconsideration of the obligations. Even answering the question on the conflict, Saudubayev concentrated more on the OSCE summit in Astana, which will be likely held on October 29. We reached a consensus on the necessity to hold the OSCE summit in Astana before the end of this year. The position of the USA was not clear until the very end of the summit. What was the cause of Washington's approval is yet to be known. Experts believe the list includes beneficial oil and gas contracts and political loyalty.
The public makes its own conclusions upon the completion of the OSCE informal summit, which gathered key diplomats of the organization's member states. Experts suggest that holding the summit is an expensive endeavor, and while there are numerous human rights violation issues within the country that chairs the organization, the summit may be favorable only to those politicians that wish the global community to not see the real situation in Kazakhstan.
Public organizations, representatives, journalists and opposition leaders agree that the upcoming summit will be just another promotion campaign for Kazakhstan. During the last 6 months of the OSCE chairmanship, Kazakhstan has not fulfilled a single of its obligations on the democratization of laws and elections. Kazakhstan is one of the world's major oil and gas suppliers, and this seems to be a more important argument for the global community than the violation of basic freedoms.
I have quite contradicting feeling about this summit. The states that are considered flagmen of democracy make a decision to hold the summit in Kazakhstan after numerous reports about human rights violations here, as well as the adoption of the unprecedented law on the leader of the nation. This looks like an absolution to me.
Experts do not deny that the official meeting of the OSCE heads is quite an expensive event. Even in violation of the organization's charter, Kazakhstan is spending its own budget money, which are obviously the taxpayers' money. This is an extremely expensive event, and it's clear that the official Astana will try its best. They will organize a fest and no one will count the money spent. I even suspect that the entire summit budget will be covered exclusively by Kazakhstan. Political scientists note that the hosting of the summit is nothing but a reflection of Kazakhstan's political ambitions and its attempt to prove that the country is most powerful and influential amongst its CIS neighbors. However, the authorities seem to forget that the respect might be earned not only through fancy events, but also by observance of human rights.
Some of the polled citizens of Kazakhstan reflect the idea that hosting the OSCE summit is nothing but a goal set by several politicians desperately trying to promote the image of Kazakhstan globally. It appears that the initiative, which diplomats consider nearly the biggest geopolitical achievement, has passed by the ordinary citizens.
This is the first time I hear about it. What is OSCE? It isn't something serious, is it? What is it? I don't know what the OSCE stands for.
OBSE.
The OSCE summit will be held here in Astana? That's good. Why are you asking?
Nazarbayev has failed to fulfill some people's expectations regarding announcing his successor, as the head of state didn't say a word about the matter during his address at the OSCE informal summit in Almaty last weekend. The anonymous user of the Respublika.kz portal had earlier spread the information that Nazarbayev is going to reveal the name of his successor during the event. According to online post, the main candidate to replace Nazarbayev was the Vice Prime Minister Asset Isekeshev. He did appear in public on Monday, but refused to comment his career plans.
The 39-year-old Asset Isekeshev is quite modest and not very public person. Being a man of few words, he does not communicate much with reporters. Still, at the moment, he assumes leading positions on the political arena. Lately, Vice Prime Minister Isekeshev seems to appear during all significant state events, where he is introduced by the president. In March of this year, Nursultan Nazarbayev has called a fateful meeting for Isekeshev, who opened the session as an industry and trade minister and was later promoted to vice prime minister while keeping his prior seat. Isekeshev is also known for his strong loyalty towards the president. This initiative was made and approved by the leader of the nation, Nursultan Nazarbayev. The lobby talks hint at possible drastic change for Kazakhstan in autumn. Rampant rumors even reached the mass media. One of the users of the portal Respublika.kz suggested that Nazarbayev will leave his post, remaining the leader of the nation, while the Prime Minister's chair will be passed to Isekeshev, who by that time will officially marry the president's youngest daughter, Aliya Nazarbayeva. Now the plan of transferring the power has become clear. Kasım-Jomart Tokayev will serve as the second president of Kazakhstan until 2012, although hamstrung between Nazarbayev and Vice Prime Minister Isekeshev, who will run for the chair during the next elections. It is expected that Isekeshev will become Nazarbayev's official son-in-law by then, the user of the Republika.kz. However, the public's opinion on the matter appears to be split. Experts are skeptical about Isekeshev's chances, while not many people are aware of who he is and what significance his figure represents on the political arena. Do you know who Isekeshev is? No, I don't. I have no idea. No. This unpopularity is probably explained by some sort of Isekeshev's political maneuver to remain out of public eye even now. After another official meeting on Monday, he refused to speak to reporters about his political career ambitions.